Welcome to the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, where we talk all things Masonic while drinking an old fashioned. I'm Brian.
And I'm Russ.
Russ, look what we continue to secure. It's like, they're like Legos or action figures. We just keep taking Grand Masters and putting them on shelves in here. So we have yet another Grand Master of Kansas. Now, he's an old dog now when it comes to Grand Masters. He's nearly 4 years out. Coming around. So, Russ, tell everyone who we have.
Everybody, we have our good friend, brother, Most Worshipful Dale Morrow with us today.
Welcome. Dale.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, have you seen the podcast?
Yes.
More than one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to stop there.
That's good.
So, it's always good because we like for you to know questions in advance. So, most people that know us personally, they don't trust Russ or I. They think that there's some shenanigans, and I think it's more they have issues with Russ than myself. That's the story that I'm sticking to.
And you can just stick to it.
So, as you know, on the Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, we like to know as much about the man as we do the Mason. So, who's Dale?
So, I'm an old hillbilly from Arkansas, basically. I grew up in rural Arkansas, about 45 miles east of Fort Smith, on a grade A dairy farm.
Okay.
I grew up on a dairy farm as well. Yeah.
I worked on one in Mino, Oklahoma. See, we're all utter Yankers. We are utterly.
School was like 7 miles away. Rural area, but I grew up in a pretty progressive high school.
Okay.
I am a jack of all trades, and that kind of started in high school. Of course, coming off a farm, you did just about everything.
Yeah.
But I had some opportunities in high school that kind of set some things in motion that are still going on today.
Okay.
We had an area vocational school over in Ozark. I went to school in Paris. That vocational technical school put together 4 what they called project vans. One was electronics. One was refrigeration and air conditioning. Another was machine shop.
And the last was ice cream.
World of construction. Close, but no cigar.
So you get your trade.
And the thing of it is, I also took agriculture, which taught welding, it taught woodworking, it taught all the shop skills, and even motors, all kinds of things.
Okay.
So that kind of set some things in motion that's still going on. I've got so many wide interests.
Right.
I want to know something, I go learn it.
Right.
And I'm still doing that today. I work on my own vehicles. But yeah, I'm just an old country boy that likes working with his hands. My endeavor was to be an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Until I discovered I hated sitting at the desk.
Fair. Okay.
So your occupation, and I assume you have a family?
I work for Spirit Aerosystems. I've had many occupations over.
How long have you worked for Spirit? Long time?
This is my 18th year.
18th year, long time.
So I'm a tooling technician out there, but I'm a team leader, but that encompasses a lot of things.
Right.
Not only I kind of take care of all of Spirit's tooling's automation.
Okay.
All their electronics, all their industrial controls. That's kind of my gig. So if it's got any kind of electronic, pneumatic, hydraulics to it, it's under my umbrella.
So family, wife, kids, so you don't have to buy a dress?
I'm married for the 3rd time.
Okay. What did you do wrong the first 2 times?
Well, yeah. We won't get into that.
That's probably safe. We don't have a back button here.
Yeah. So, at any rate, Shrell and I have been married for, 22 years. It'll be 23 in August.
She looks like a child. She looks so young. When I first saw you guys together, I thought that this was like To Catch a Predator stuff was going on.
She is 17 and a half years younger than me.
What?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So think about that.
Yeah.
He was 18, she was barely born.
No, well, so yeah, that's kind of bad.
Do not think about that. That's awful.
Yeah. That was really bad.
So, at any rate, I have 4 children,
Okay.
9 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren with 1 on the way.
All right.
Should be any time in the next 3 weeks, I think.
Wow.
So 4 children, so boys, girls, mixture.
I have
what do you
3
have?
girls and 1 boy.
1 boy.
Okay.
And is your son a Mason by chance?
He is not.
Okay.
He is not.
Okay.
He kind of got a bad taste. He was acquainted with some Masons in Arkansas, and
A lot of stuff went on during the time period. Yeah.
He kind of some of the Masons he knew just didn't jive with what he thought ought to be right.
Okay.
That's kind of where he is.
Okay.
But
That may change later.
yeah,
But that's fine.
he works out at Spirit also.
Oh, he's local. Okay.
Yes, he's the only one that lives in the state. The other 3 live out of state.
Very cool.
Okay.
So he's in the boiler house at Spirit.
Okay.
He's a licensed boiler operator. So he works pretty good. He's,
I like it.
As a grandpa, what's one crazy thing that your grandchildren, if we asked them, what would they say about you? What's that one
I don't know. So I don't get to see him very often.
Okay.
So I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I think my oldest grandson was really kind of blown away. Went down one time, and my son was really into dirt bikes, and so was my grandson. They put me on one, and I think he was kind of blown away that I could actually ride.
Right.
Yeah, Grandpa had
That makes Grandpa
awesome.
look real young fast.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Or real old if he wrecks.
yeah. So and my son put me on the biggest, baddest bike he had. It was like a Yamaha 490.
And you schooled them all.
I don't know about schooling anybody,
Okay.
But you didn't wreck out.
Oh no,
No. That's good.
So, Dale, tell us about your Masonic career. What from beginning to
And keep it under 5 hours
yes.
because you've done a lot. So just get some highlights because we're going to get into some other stuff.
Well, I'll kind of get into how I got into this.
Yeah.
Genealogy is something I've been doing for a lot of years. And I was in a cemetery looking for a great uncle of my wife, or my mother, not my wife, down in Arkansas. Found his tombstone.
Okay.
This is the guy that raised my mother, basically.
Wow.
And he was the brother of her grandmother. So I found the tombstone and find this big old square and compasses on the tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
That was one that kind of got me thinking. I'm going, what's all this about? Of course, at the time, I really didn't know anything about Masons.
Yeah.
And then I find my great-grandfather down in Arkansas. And I find this little brass plaque next to my great-grandmother. Had a square and compasses on it, had him, his son, and his grandson.
Okay.
That was placed by the lodge that went under around World War II
Okay.
at Roseville, Arkansas. And I'm going, wow.
Those seem like signs to me.
Yeah. Then I get to doing some investigating, and I've got more and more relatives, especially on my mother's side, that are all Masons.
Yeah.
And even some of those relatives migrated to Kansas and are over in southeast Kansas, the Routons. Some of them are, one's a past master that I know over in southeast Kansas.
Okay.
But anyhow, I started asking some questions of some Masons I knew. A restaurant I went to every day had two that owned the place, and their wives worked it, and it was kind of funny. I started asking her seemingly the right questions, and before I knew it, I had a petition in my hands.
Good for them.
Jeff Bryant and Roger Whitney signed me up and taught me most of my work that I needed to go through the degrees.
So what year were you raised?
1999.
And then you went from the Blue Lodge to the Scottish Rite pretty close?
Scottish Rite in 2000.
Okay.
Same weekend I went into the shrine.
Okay.
This was.
Oh, that was Snellen's year? Roger Snellen's year? He was
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Roger Snellen, and then went. I've been in the shrine ever since.
Yeah, I mean, you're pushing 25 years.
Your home lodge is?
It was Belle Plaine,
Okay.
Which merged into Derby.
Yeah.
Derby. I didn't know for
Three-time
sure.
past master of Belle Plaine.
Okay.
2004, 2008, and 2012. I also belonged to Tuscan Lodge 460. I was master of that lodge in 2016. I'm charter senior warden of that lodge.
And current secretary?
No.
No?
I'm current chaplain.
Chaplain.
Yes.
Chaplain.
Current
Big
chaplain.
difference in work, isn't there?
I have, in Belle Plaine, I had held every office there is.
Okay, nice. How many times were you just master once there?
3 times at Belle Plaine.
Okay, because I thought that lodge needed
3 times.
Yeah.
So you started where did you start? What was the chair? Did you?
They threw me almost immediately into junior deacon.
Okay.
And then,
that's a good one.
right,
That's not
I was
speaking
raised
shit.
in November, thrown in that chair second week of December.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the following year, they threw me into, of course, I went to senior deacon, and Chuck Abels, bless his heart, was just
Chuck.
teasing with me and started in, said, we got School of Instruction, in second week of January at like Oxford. And said, we're doing the stair lecture. That's your job. Well, I didn't know he was teasing with me at the minute. He didn't pull me down. And
Yeah. But here, look at this.
Yeah.
This is your parts. And
It's
it's
really easy.
yeah, it's really easy.
I did it the second week of second week of January.
Oh, wow.
Not that it was very good, but I did it.
And you know what? It would have been better than Russ or Eyes. Fair. Even if I was reading it.
So, most don't know that it's if you've got a B card, the stair lecture is shorter than the B card
Okay.
by about 50 words or so.
Oh, give or take
Yeah.
50 words. So fast forward. So you went through. Now you jump on the Grand Lodge line, and you were
I was district deputy, area deputy. Darren Kellerman, a man we all know and love. Darren Kellerman
We do.
appointed me
Great
as
dude.
grand senior deacon.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know what was going to happen. My wife, I was spending way too much time doing Masonic stuff.
I mean, we've been in a car together going places.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xenia Lodge.
Oh my.
Yeah.
We've been to Zany.
Yeah. It's smaller than this room. I kid you not. A step and a half from junior or senior steward, you're at the altar. Fair?
Yeah.
It
wow.
is crazy. Second story.
The only lodge I know of that's smaller is Clinton Lodge in Burton.
I don't know that lodge. so defer
I
to
can
you.
spit a watermelon seed between the east and west in that lodge. I mean, it's just tiny.
Is that a normal function there at that lodge?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
No,
That must be in Arkansas.
That's an Arkansas measure. That's an Arkansas measure of distance.
So Darren asked you, "Hey, I'd like for you to be my guy." So you talked to your wife. Did that take some selling?
Yeah. And let's see here. We went to.
She was a great ambassador, though.
Well, the
she
thing
was
is,
very
she was
active.
very shy, but this brought her out of that, out of necessity.
Sure.
She's always been a very shy person, never really got involved in a whole lot of stuff. And, it was one of those things that she finally come to the realization, it's something I kind of wanted to do. And
she was a great support system for you.
She finally come to realization that she better not stop me,
Yeah, or you'll have number 4.
Well, I don't know. It was.
Everything that I think, and I just told myself, it comes out of your mouth. It comes out of your mouth.
She was more afraid that.
Did you know Russ is a ventriloquist and I'm his doll? Every night he shoots it out.
I think she was more afraid that I would resent.
I don't think you would have done that to her, though.
Necessarily,
no,
but
not me to know.
That was kind of her fear, I think.
No, I thought she was a great support system. So going to Grandmaster, we could talk for hours about it. But what's the one thing your year you wish you would have got accomplished that you just won? There's always hundreds, right?
Well, the thing of it is, you have all kinds of.
Because you closed out on COVID.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things that I wanted to get done, but I had one thing looming over my head. And that was selling the Grand Lodge building in Topeka.
Yeah.
Which, stay tuned, you're going to see us talk about Masonic buildings on another podcast, so hold off on the detail of that.
Yeah.
But that was a big undertaking.
Yeah, which kind of made me struggle getting anything done because and
it just absorbs so much time.
It was such a major thing.
Well, number one, you had to not only sell it, you had to find some place for us to go.
Yeah.
And what we're doing with all our stuff, and there's just
most people think, the market's hot, you just sell it. Yeah, but I got to go somewhere. What about all of our stuff? And our stuff isn't.
Masons have a
furniture
lot
in
of
our
stuff.
house. Yeah, we got archives we need to protect.
Well, we had stuff that was protected by bylaw,
right.
And that we had to take care of. We couldn't just pitch it. We had to protect it.
So what did you leave on the table? You're like, damn it, I didn't get this one thing done. What was a goal that you just couldn't get done?
I really wanted to do a ritual competition, not a ritual competition, but and it really was. It's when I was area deputy. This was area 5 at the time, and I had it, and I brought out this ritual card competition in this area, and it worked rather well. We had a couple years before at Grand Lodge, we issued 5, 6. B and A and master's cards. Proficiency cards were just down to nothing. Mm-hmm. So I come up with this, went and bought this big old huge trophy. I ran it by the council administration. They said, go knock yourself out. I said, I'll buy the trophy, and have it made and run this. I'd kind of like to run it. The council give me permission to do it. And so I rolled it out at the Area 5 meeting and brought this big old trophy out. And I think we had, because of that, Area 5 was the big standout. Winfield Lodge 110 actually won the trophy, and they still have it in their lodge hall.
No kidding.
But we had 23 or 24 proficiency cards that year, which was the previous 5 or 6 years. The previous 5 or 6 years put together didn't have that many.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things I really kind of wanted to take statewide. I just couldn't get it done.
That would have been cool. I think that would have moved. We always talk about moving the needle. Does somebody move the needle?
Right.
I think that would have moved the needle because there's sometimes they're like, I don't want to do it, but if I can win something, or if I can help my lodge win something, I'll do that. I think it's clever, and it doesn't have to die. It doesn't have to die. Well, who'd you put on as a? Wonder if let me think. If we only had somebody that you put on was a Grandmaster.
Oh.
Maybe Most Worshipful Rob McClarty could take that. Yeah. That sounds like no pressure. I got to tell you, your Masonic father, your Grand Lodge father says, hey, I failed on this deal because of everything that was going on. Lots of great sons, Masonic sons, would just say, you know what, Dad, no problem. I've got you. And they'll carry this trophy around. and start. No pressure, but I digress.
Yeah.
That was a whole thing over there.
Yeah.
He gets off.
Yeah.
So
Brian.
I get in my brain here. So
Yeah,
there's lots
Brian,
going
I'm
on.
his chairman of his ritualistic committee, so you just throw that back in my defense. So,
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's the way you do it. Volunteer him.
So, there's several questions here. So, in the past, we have had years where men just come to this fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
Today, maybe that's not as much of the case. So, why do you think men come to this fraternity, and why do you think currently men aren't coming to this fraternity?
well, okay, I'm gonna preface that with over the past 30 years or plus, grandmasters have tried to move the needle and bring people back into the fraternity, or actually try to raise the number. I don't know of one that really moved the needle hardly at all.
Okay.
Well, when I'm grandmaster,
Yeah.
I'll prove you different.
Yeah, okay.
Soon.
It's a challenge.
Coming soon.
That's a challenge. So, at any rate, years past, the big heyday of Masonry was when guys came back from World War II. Mm-hmm. They were looking for some of the same camaraderie that they had in the military.
Sure. That's why I sought out. Yeah.
And I'm thinking soon, if we ever go back to a peacetime to where we're not hardly doing anything with the military, that probably will come back. But again, the reason not right now, I think everyone has too much going on. There's too much,
Think the hourglass is full, do you?
pretty much.
Yeah.
But two, we have some other things. Churches are having problems. Same problem we are.
They are.
People are just not into this kind of group activity.
Like joiners anymore.
Yeah, right. There is a few. And I think who we do bring in needs to be a real, genuine Masonic candidate.
Representing the brand.
Yes.
Do you think? Yeah.
So, do you think we have a brand problem?
Do you think we have a brand problem right now?
We can't. Yeah, we do a little bit.
We do. I think we do.
Yeah.
I think part of that.
Describe that for you.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you?
We all know what Masons are. Everybody out there may not know. Most of this audience probably does.
Right.
But the real big thing that I see is someone who truly wants to improve themselves in a moral capacity. That's what Masonry teaches. Mm-hmm. And that means so many different things to different people. Mm-hmm. But that's where that needle has to start. Mm-hmm. That's where the empty has to be, and you want to fill that up. So I don't know if I explained that.
Do you feel like in some cases, not all, some cases we've raised the bar so people could get under it easier? It's going a different direction there. Yeah.
Probably. Or lowered the bar so they can crawl over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a balance. Right. There's a balance because we've got some strong opinions on lots of things. I would like to see more quality people in. Mm-hmm. We're going to come to this point where, as people are going out and we're not replacing them, we've got to do something financially as well. So, Russ and I have talked a lot, and I'm going to speak for myself. I've been very open about, hey, jack the dues up to $500, solve some problems, and then we can be a little more selective, so we don't have to feel like we've just got to get the masses in. Because I believe I'm not speaking for Dale. I believe we should be an elite brand. Elite brand and elitist are two different things, right?
Yes.
Because men of good moral character and stature, that's not money, right? We know a lot of assholes that have money. That doesn't mean that they're great people, right?
Right.
So I think with the brand problem, we have to fix it two different ways. If it's worth it to somebody, the difference in the money is really not that much, because we all just kind of piss it away on stuff that's not that important. But I think there's a balance between quality and quantity. This isn't a C2A thing. That's a whole nother conversation. We have to be attracting the right men. But if you don't have the right men in, you don't attract the right men.
Right.
Right? Because if they come in and they see this tarnished brand, I'm not saying people, but it used to be that I would bring people into Midian. Hey, let's come on out.
Right.
And the makeup of the brand just didn't match up to some of the guys who are coming like, not for me.
Right.
And I'm just picking that part out, but we've all got that brand story where if you want to introduce them with someone, you're thinking in your mind, okay, I want to have this person be the first impression, maybe not X. And brothers, I'm talking to you too, because sometimes we're not the brand.
Correct.
And we should be at all times. Forget, I'm flashing my ring, I'm flashing my bling. We have to be representing the brand at all times. Right. Is that
exactly
fair? Sorry about the rant, but
you're right where I'm at. I mean, we do have a brand. Internally, we have some brand problems.
We do.
Now, lodge dues. You spoke about that a moment.
Yeah.
I do belong to a lodge, Tuscan 460. Dues at Tuscan 460 are $365 a year.
It should be $1 a day. We've talked about it a lot.
And I don't believe you have a building. I don't believe you have
We don't
any,
have a building.
I believe you probably don't have money problems. And you guys are, 10 years old maybe?
Well, we came in 2015.
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, we're going to talk. We're going to talk about this later. We're teasing you again for the next episode. So, what kind of involvement do you have in the Shrine or Scottish Rite? Much.
So, Shrine, for years I was involved in the Wheat Whackers.
Oh yeah.
I was his liaison.
Oh
yeah.
All right.
So
Ross Smith was.
I've kind of got away with that. Ross and his dad both.
Yeah, they brought it. Were they the
Fred and Ross.
Yeah. Sorry.
I knew where you were.
Well, but Fred looks older than Ross still. That's just how that is.
Come on, Fred.
Love you, Fred.
I'll stand up for you here.
Yeah.
You don't.
Brian's on a roll.
I am a little wound up today.
You are.
Yeah.
So Scottish Rite much?
Scottish Rite. I kind of got away from the Scottish Rite for a while.
Okay.
I've been back in recent years. I belong to the York Rite in Salina. I'm in Red Cross of Constantine. We meet on the same night as Elmo Lodge.
Okay.
Here in Scottish Rite.
Okay.
Nights are St. Andrew. Here also. York Rite. Past high priest. Past illustrious master and past commander of all three of the bodies in Salina.
Wow.
I'm currently Grand Warder and Commandery and Grand Assistant Grand Sentinel and Grand Chapter.
Okay.
Recently, that just happened April.
All right.
So, yeah.
So this question takes you a completely different direction. So, living or dead, who would you want to have dinner with that you've never shared a meal with before?
It's the first time we've asked this question.
It is new and I like it.
Living
or dead.
Or dead.
That you've not shared, so that takes family out, because a lot of times you want to have one last meal with mom or dad. But
well, I'm probably going to go in a really strange direction here.
This
like
this is what we hope. Not Ted Bundy.
No.
Okay.
Actually, DeWitt Clinton.
Okay.
Elaborate. DeWitt Clinton.
DeWitt.
DeWitt Clinton. All right.
And
Okay.
most people don't know who that is.
Brian doesn't know who that is.
No, wait. Either do you.
He was the governor of New York and the sitting Grand High Priest of New York during the affair in New York that you've had an episode on. During the Morgan affair. And I think he knew some more about that than most of us do. And I'd really love to have dinner with him.
Get two more get two more seats for us.
Yeah.
We're interested. Oh my God, great. Yeah. Wow.
That's
a good one. So
I've been doing some research on that particular thing, and I come across a book. Actually, past Grandmaster Alan Hurlburt, out in western Kansas, came across this book and did an actual report on it at the Midwest Conference, Masonic Education, I think in Madison, Wisconsin.
All right.
If I'm either that or it was north of here, and I can't remember for sure. That was it, but that's what
Alan was Grand Master the first time you were Master in 2004.
Yeah,
and I was Master of Albert Pike.
Oh, look at you! Nice, cool.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So he pulled some stuff out of that. So consequently, here a few years ago, I got a hold of him. I'm going, you remember that thing you did on Morgan? And he had a book reference that I really wanted to get a hold of. And he said, I don't remember what that is. And a few weeks later, he calls me up and he goes, here's the book. In fact, I'm sending you a copy of the presentation I did. And he sent it to me. And I finally found a copy of that book online. And the copy I have came out of it was a library threw it away in Cincinnati. And somebody grabbed it and put it online. So I have a copy of that book. It's very intriguing on that take of the Morgan affair. It actually traces his steps. And it puts a little different spin on it. And its whole premise
I feel like a Morgan 3 episode's coming up.
Wow. Anyhow. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. So proficiency is a big deal for you, right?
Well, yes, it
You've
is.
seen this question, and because you're an unlimited card holder and you got your master's and unlimited in the same year, right? Yeah.
And you became a Mason in
4. But he waited on his unlimited and masters.
Yeah, no, but you actually did the stair lecture for the first time 2 months out, 2, 3 months.
A year. Well, I was junior deacon for.
Hey,
and
that's still impressive.
A year and 3 months after I came in.
So this is a would you rather.
So
you don't get to chop it up and do what you want with
Yeah.
it. Would you rather a line full of proficient Masons, card holders, or a line full of inspirational, motivated leaders?
Oh, inspirational, motivated leaders.
I'd have lost money on that again. You too?
You just need to give me $100 right now.
No, you would not have. You would not have. So it's interesting. Obviously you want the hybrid. The hybrid is the best answer because you need the both.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. If they're inspirational and motivated, they're going to learn it. And that's, the ones that already have it. The ones that already have it, they have it already.
Yeah.
Yes. But
that's the best answer we've had.
Yes.
The rest of them
is the
not
best
even
answer
close.
we've had.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great answer. Not what I expected, but it's a great answer.
Yeah. So you are very active in the York Rite right now, and you've done stuff in the Shrine. Do you have any aspirations to
I never
do
had
things?
I never had any aspirations to be Grand Master.
What about potentate now?
Yeah.
No. I don't have any aspirations to be in any kind of leadership.
I'm the potentate today, and I say, Dale, I need you to be my Oriental guide. Are you in?
I don't know. I kind of.
That's not a no, folks.
Yes.
That's not a no.
I kind of doubt it.
All right.
I've got too many irons in the fire. My primary gearing is to Blue Lodge Masonry.
The foundation.
Yes, I'm involved in some of the other. I do some degree work in some of the other.
Yeah.
Not real well yet. I'm not near to the level I am in Blue Lodge.
Well, that's not a fair comparison, though.
Yeah.
I mean, can we be honest? It's not really a fair comparison.
But I keep working on it. And so I'm not looking to be in any line.
Fair.
But the thing of it is,
that question.
And I'll tell you right up, it's someone that's looking to be in a position I have a problem with. So
I agree.
yeah,
I agree. Usually the ones that are hunting it down, we call them title seekers.
yeah.
But yeah, I might agree. So, what Grand Master in your lifetime?
Oh, in my lifetime.
No,
Okay.
sorry, your Masonic lifetime.
Okay.
Who do you think moved the needle the most for Kansas?
So, I'd have to narrow it down between two.
Okay.
But the one that comes to mind that is still moving the needle is Rick Reichert.
Okay.
Rick Reichert kind of, and that council of administration kind of implemented, and I think it was Rick, maybe it was, Rick had the job of implementing it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the idea came from a few before.
Okay.
But that's when the actual strategic plan started being implemented.
Right.
And grandmasters stopped doing their own thing and everybody started rowing the boat in the same direction.
Yes.
Okay.
That in my mind is is the biggest thing that happened to Kansas Grand Lodge and is still happening.
Yeah.
So it was a nice behind the scenes move that not a lot of people see, but they feel it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure Kent Needham had
Great guy.
a hand in it. I'm sure Tracy Bloom had a hand in it.
For sure. Blue.
I just don't know to what extent, because you're looking at the council. Rick had the job of implementing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did all the groundwork for laying that. And so, and then after that, it became a little easier. And then in 2019, we redid that.
Right. The 2030 plan.
That was, that was Most Worshipful Rob's, one of his jobs was to put that together, and he had to put the 2030 plan together. Okay. So he was going to be on the council the longest, so he was going to have to live with it longer than anyone else. So,
and you can feel it, and as a Mason in Kansas, if you don't feel that happening, and that just that momentum,
it does feel like it's coming together.
It's coming together. Yeah. I think you can just feel it.
Yeah, and Chris Collins kind of pointed that out a little bit too. He
Yeah.
was talking about it's like there's just a synergy like never before.
Yeah.
The council of today is nothing like the councils of 30 years ago.
Well, but they can't be for us to evolve. Right.
You used to have grandmasters that have an individual program. One would have a book program. One would have teddy bears for
Well,
kids.
the key word is individual.
Yes.
And that can't happen anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
it's not
that's
a knock. It just can't happen.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to actually put a bad light on any grandmaster prior to this or any at all. That was what was done then.
Yeah.
But the strategic plan is the one thing that actually
roadmap
got Grand Lodge going in the direction that it really needed to go to assist the lodges, and we're trying to get the lodges to do the same thing. And some fight it, some don't. Yeah.
Well, the lodges are essentially a franchise, okay?
Yes.
And if you're the franchise owner and you want your brand to be a certain way, you have to manage the brand. So it goes back to the brand conversation. And we could probably tighten up the brand a little bit more, but that's another conversation.
Most Worshipful Darren Kellerman used to do a presentation on protecting the brand. And that's basically what it was on. It was that very thing.
He's still a dude for us.
He is.
Kansas
very
Freemasons.
much so.
Yes.
So
This is a serious question, the next one.
this one is a really serious question. We don't like to have fun very often here on the podcast. But so you know that Most Worshipful Bob Talbot and I and
We all run in
Brian
a
over there,
circle.
we run in a circle and we're friends. And Bob actually in the last 48 hours said, I don't have energy to debate you, Russ, on this subject. And it was a different
That's
subject.
exactly.
And he just
And he
sort of,
does, he
and I went,
stops you.
oh, okay. So, our friend Bob always tells us that he actually was the best looking Grand Master
Ever.
So,
Ever.
is that true?
And so look, we got a
Yeah.
photo up when he was
Yeah.
Master at Pike, so that's up.
Yeah. And
So-
so is that true? Or if not, who is?
If he's not the best Grandmaster, looking
Most
Grandmaster ever,
handsome? Yeah. Who
living Grandmaster,
living Grandmaster.
who is? If it's not Talbot, who is it?
Oh, that's quite a question. So
He forced this upon us. He's like settled the debate today.
Bob, I'm not buying a bit of that.
You know what? I will edit that out in a second. So
First time we've ever edited anything, and that was that.
Yeah.
who's the best looking living Grandmaster? I think it's easy. I think it's easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you have a man crush on him.
Dude,
Oh my! It's got to be. Well, there's several that would fit that mold.
but no, best is one. Best is numero uno.
My goodness, see that you're really putting me on
Oh, I am.
on the spot here. But probably in my mind, probably Tracy Bloom.
Oh,
You know Tracy, good looking guy, but you know Mike Johnson.
this has got a ride. folks.
We digress.
We got to get to the
Here's what
end.
you don't know. So you were in law enforcement. Did you know I knew that about you? Did you know that?
No, I
And
did
you know
not.
he didn't tell me this. So we
Yeah.
do a little research here. So because of that, the most important question of the day, you get McClarty's up on the screen.
Oh, this one.
Yes,
Cagney and Lacey, Columbo, Miami Vice, Starsky and Hutch. One of these TV detectives has to go forever. Who is it?
Oh my, got to be Columbo.
You're with Columbo too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I've got some reasoning for that.
Yeah. He was drunk on the job a lot.
That bumbling style.
Yeah. Makes a mockery of law enforcement.
Yes, it wasn't good.
And you know Russ was going to get rid of Miami Vice? That's disgusting.
Yeah, well, that was
If Columbo wasn't there, who do you get rid of?
Starsky and Hutch.
Okay. See, nobody could say Cagney and Lacey or we'll get in trouble in 2023.
Yeah.
So that's all we have. Dale, thank you for joining the Old
Enjoyed
Fashioned
this.
Masonic Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, friends, brothers.